Titles are funny things, you know? On one hand, we don't want to take them too seriously. We just want to do our work and we hope that other people do the same thing. But on the other hand, we make a lot of assumptions about somebody once we hear their title. Hi, I'm Greg with Prickrell Consulting, and today I have an interesting question, and that is, are you a product manager or are you a PMINO? And before I define that term, let me give you some background. I was doing some consulting with a global digital product company. They discovered that their cash cow was not going to produce the milk they hoped it would into the future. So they sold the board on the idea, some folks within the organization, that product management was the salvation of the company. That product managers would find the next billion-dollar business. And the board was excited about that. They were willing to invest to develop product managers. But when they looked at their price list and they looked at their staffing report, there was a big disconnect. There were maybe tens of products and there were hundreds and hundreds of product managers, and it didn't make sense to them. So we had to go through an exercise where we determined what is the minimum level of things, of accountabilities that you have to consider yourself a product manager. Because if we don't have this definition of a core, you might be a PMINO, which is product manager in name only. And sure enough, this organization had some people calling themselves product managers that weren't doing the things that we would expect a product manager to do. So we went through this exercise where we defined the sine qua non of product management. That's a fancy Latin term meaning the kind of essence. Without these things, you don't have product management. I'm going to share what we came up with. Hopefully it's interesting input to you. I would suggest that you define your SNQ, sine qua non, for product management, and then look at the organization and make sure that people calling themselves product management are really doing work that you consider product management. So let's go through the 5 criteria that we came up with. I am going to start with a product manager owns the roadmap. Full stop. When I start working with an organization, I ask all kinds of people, marketing, sales, engineering, PMs themselves, who owns the roadmap? And I expect to hear product management instantly. If you want to drive your product, you need to own the roadmap. The second thing is you own the business motivation for your product. The roadmap is an expression of strategy. It shows delivery to the market based on a strategy. You have to find that strategy. You have to write it down. You need a product vision. You need goals and objectives. You can find another vlog I did on the OMG, Object Management Group's business motivation model for more details there. That takes us to the third point, which is you as a product manager should be accepting engineering's work product. That means they go off, they build stuff in tight collaboration with you based on your requirements, based on your specifications, and you're the one that says, okay, we are ready to take this thing to market. It's ready to go. That is your call. It's not engineering's call to say, okay, we ship next week. The product ships when product management says it's ready for the market, that we're likely to meet our business objectives. The fourth one is a little bit of an outlier, but I think it's interesting, and that is, as a product manager, I expect you to have quite a bit of engagement with engineering. Now, it may be more at the strategic level, at the leadership level, but if you only see engineering folks on an exceptional basis, in my experience, that means you're going to get out of touch and it's really difficult to ship the product you expect. So I expect to see a lot of engineering engagement. And the last one is one that really gets engineering's attention. This is the hardest pill to swallow, but we included it anyway. And that is, as a product manager, you should be defining engineering's work priorities. That doesn't mean you're doing task management and telling them to work on this component before this component. But in terms of feature work on the product, you determine what they work on, what their priorities are. And that doesn't mean that engineering comes to you at the beginning of the release and says, we need to do all these things, and this is the capacity I can give you for features. It's not the way it works. We look at the whole pie, we sit down together, and we make business decisions together. Engineering may want to refactor something. They may want to adopt a new framework, and there may be really good business reasons to do that. But we're going to put all those things on the table, and we're going to make those decisions together. So those are the 5 criteria that we came up with. Very interested to hear what you think about it. Once again, I would suggest you and your organization define the minimum set of things that you think a product manager should be doing to call themselves a product manager, so that they're not a PMINO. And yeah, share your comments, and I will see you next time.